All right, my friends, let's play with your Git. It sounds dirty, but it's not. GitHub. You're working on a project. Maybe it's code, maybe it's PowerPoint, maybe it's Excel. You have a few people. You want to collaborate. You want to make sure that when you make a change, everybody sees it. You want to make sure that if two people are trying to make a change, you're not overriding one another. GitHub is not the only, but a solution for that. I want to show you how to do that. There's a whole lineage of courses and materials and expertise you can build a Git. I want to be very simple just to do the most basic execution. So go to github.com, create a free account. And when you do that, you'll put on your profile picture. It'll be much prettier than mine. You'll have, fancier tiles than I do, but it will look something like this. Repositories. There's this concept called a repository in GitHub. You can think of it like a folder in Google Drive. It's where you put all of your stuff. And you could share it with people so they can get it and they could take it. If you just use a Google Drive or a Microsoft Drive, it's difficult, right? Because people might conflict and overwrite and hard to track history. GitHub hopefully is a way to do that. Two types, public and private, as the name suggests. Anybody in the world can go to the Market Observatory GitHub repo under Aguilar Mike and get anything from there. They can pull from it. They can look at it. They can even try to recreate their own, or they could ask me to make changes. Private, only the very special people can get access to it. I have to give them access to it. We want to create a repo. So you're going to go to new and let's give it a name, GitHub Demo. Okay. Um, yes, that's open. Um, quick demo of Mike's limited Git knowledge. And we'll keep all the defaults as they are for now, except make it private. Okay. I want to make sure that your stuff is protected, so let's keep it private. You could always change this later. So we will create a repository. Lots of stuff pops up. It can be accessed through the GUI, the web interface, or it could be accessed on the GitHub desktop through a Bash infrastructure, or you can connect your Python R Studio up to Git. We're going to take the simplest approach where we will be pretending we're in our studio on our desktops or our laptops, and then we're going to use the web browser to upload stuff and pull stuff down. So how do we get started with that? README. I want you to go to README, click on that, and it's going to create a README file. What is a README file? If you're not familiar with it, it's very common in all sorts of computer programming. It's the first thing that anybody who opens up this directory sees. So you have a project you're giving to a client, you're giving them a zip file with all sorts of stuff. First thing they should open is README. It's a quick list of everything that's in there. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. And MD is just marked down. A quick demo of Mike's limited Git knowledge, files, and then, file one, file two, and what's in here? What's in there? And it's not meant to be analysis, okay? It's not meant to show the code. It's meant simply to tell you a table of contents. All right, so you could actually preview it to see if it looks good, right? Because that's the first thing people are going to see. And then I want everybody else to see it. I need a change. That deep repo, I want to commit a change. Um, GitHub Copilot actually is pretty smart now. Update the README to include file sections. Now, what is all this about? You want to be sure that you want everybody to see this. You want to be sure that what you just made in the README deserves to be posted up there online. And I recommend that you're as detailed as possible in these descriptions. Um, why did I make that change before? Who made that change before? When was that change made? The greater the trail that you have, the easier it is for attribution analysis, whether it be for, lauding and praising or taking away points, whatever it is, and reverting back to old copies in case you made a mistake. Okay, so let's go to that root there for the GitHub demo. It's right there. If you want to make a change, you could click on that, and then you could see all the code and stuff like that. Go over here, and you could edit this file right there. Quick demo of Mike's limited Git knowledge. exclamation, exclamation, exclamation. And I'm going to make that change and then emphasized, get knowledge and go back. And I got a bunch of exclamations. So you can edit right in the GUI there. I don't usually recommend that for code, right? Because you're probably going to be running the code to see if it works. You can run on GitHub. There's code spaces, there's Git actions. The way that we're going to talk about it is you got R on your laptop or desktop, and you're working with a file. You're going to edit there and push to here. So let's do that. Let's grab R. I'll grab our studio and I will create a Quarto document, and then I'll just create the base Quarto document, and these things run, all good to go. I'm gonna save it to the desktop, GitHub demo file. Okay, so that's on my desktop. Let's look at the Windows Explorer. So you see desktop, there she is. I want to put that up on the browser. So what we'll do, go away, add file, upload file, choose your file, desktop, there she goes. And then initial commit of simple UMD. And I'm going to commit that change. And let's go back, just refresh so you see everything. Boom. So now when I go to my repo here, I see my README and I see GitHub file demo. So really file one should be called GitHub demo file.qmd. You could click on that and you could see what's there, and you could edit that just by doing what we did before. But again, I don't recommend that for code. All right, now where GitHub really shines is in collaboration. So I want to add somebody else. I went to a different browser and I created a new profile, Bizarro Mike. Mike Aguilar, the dash Gmail. I want to add this version of me in like a parallel world to this repo. So go to settings, collaborators, and add people. And let's search for that Bizarro Mike Aguilar. I did not know there were so many Mike Aguilars. Look at that. Okay, well, we want Mike Aguilar, Gmail. There we go, Mike Aguilar, Gmail. Huh, I gotta start looking up all those other Mike Aguilars. All right, so their invite is pending. So let's go to the other browser, to the Bizarro Mike, and well, let's take a look. It says repositories, right? So I should see the repo. It's not there. I made a mistake. It's a public repo. So let's go over here to private. No, it's not showing up. There's a little trick to this. So go over here. Boom. See inbox. Click on your inbox. Hey, look at that. I got an invite to join a repo from this pretty good looking dude right there. Accept invitation. All right. So let's restart this just so you see. So now I'm in Bizarro Mike and I go to my profile and I'm looking and where's the repo? Oh, let me go to repos. Let me go over there and I don't see it there. I don't see it there. Where the hell is this repo? Go back three, click, and you can see all the repositories you're a member of, and there's the fancy one that we were just talking about. Okay, so again, you go to the three hash. It's not the only way, but you go to the three hash, go to home, and then you'll see that which was shared with you. All right, so now what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and create a file over here called Bizarro Mike. All right, so that's the new Gmail profile, Bizarro Mike. And pretend this is Bizarro Mike in this Chrome browser, and he's looking at this and he's saying, you know what, I could do better than that. So I'm going to download that file. And by the way, you can download the entire repo too. What you could do is go over here, hit code, and you could download everything as zip. But for now, what we're going to do is We're going to grab that and put it into Bizarro Mike's folder. And then Bizarro Mike's going to open that up. Let me pull over R for you so you can see it. Ta-da. Okay. Bizarro Mike says, look, yeah, it's stupid. You don't want to show math 1 plus 1. The right way to show math is 1 plus 2 for whatever reason. Okay. So Bizarro Mike made that change. And Bizarro Mike's file's right there. Let's double check to make sure that's editing. Yep, that's 1 plus 2. Okay, I'm ready. I want to push this up here. I want my collaborator, the good looking Mike, to see this. So what I do, add files, upload file, and I'm going to choose the file, which is going to be under Bizarro Mike, GitHub file demo, same name, right? It's the same name. You don't have to do an underscore V1, underscore V2. It's the same name, which actually comes in really handy if you have multiple files, they're interacting with one another. V1, V2, sometimes you need to change the file path and structure. Here, you can avoid that. So let's add some stuff. Uh, Switched 1 plus 1 to 1 plus 2. So what I could do is I could just go ahead and commit that change directly to the main branch. What's the main branch? Branches in GitHub are like timelines. Think of it like Spider-Man in the multiverse. It's a reality and a timeline. README, and then later on, it was the GitHub demo file. That's a branch. Now, Bizarre Mike, what he could do is commit and upload this directly to that branch and replace that QMD file in that timeline. But what if the other Mike doesn't want that? What if the other Mike said, no, 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 that's not what you should be doing? Now, if you're sitting next to one another, you could talk about it first and then arm wrestle and decide. But what if you're working asynchronously? So rather than committing to the main branch, what you do is you click this other one right here, connect to a new branch. Think of it like you got the main branch as the Earth one, that initial timeline, and then there's another one beneath it that runs parallel to it. It's got its own README. It's got its own GitHub demo file, and they look alike, but this one has a slightly different approach. So I want you to name the branches always with your name. In this case, it's Mike Diagler, Gmail, that Bizarro Mike, and then something about what you did, just so you have a good record keeping. I switched to 1 plus 2. I'm going to propose that change. I'm not forcing the change. I'm a nice guy. All right, so I got 1 plus 2, and then how do I propose that change? You create what's called a pull request. Okay, so looks like there's no real conflicts with the base branch. If I made this change, we should be good to go. No issues. I don't want to impose my will, so let's go back over here. Let's go back to the original good-looking Mike, and I'm going to dismiss that for now. So GitHub demo file. Wait a second. It still says 1 plus 1. Right. I thought it was just changed to 1 plus 2. The Bizarro mic, the Gmail mic, didn't make the change, proposed a change. Pull requests. Ah, okay. So somebody, who was that? Mike Diablo Gmail, the other Mike, is trying to say we should do something different. Okay. So let me see here. Oh yeah, he switched it from 1 plus 1 to 1 plus 2. That sounds good. And there's no real conflicts, GitHub's telling me, with the main branch. So this new reality doesn't really conflict with the old one. It could just override it. Yeah, sounds good. So I can make a comment and then I could merge those two realities, those two timelines. Now it says that you can delete the branch, which is actually the best practice. But before I do that, let's take a look. You had two branches here, the main one, and then that 1 plus 2 branch. Let's go to the main one, main. Let's go to the file demo. Hey, look at that. It's 1 plus 2. We merged those two. All right. So let's go back to the branches. And I don't need that 1 plus 2 anymore, right? That reality has merged with this one. I don't need to keep that. I should trim the branches. Um, what was that, like in Loki where they were trimming timelines or something? It's the same sort of thing, right? So let's get rid of that one and let's go back. And only one branch now. Click on this drop down, view all branches. There's only one. And that one is the only one. It's the one and only timeline. And you go there, it's 1 plus 2. Good to go. All right. So you could do that back and forth. The good looking mic can push stuff to the Bizarro mic. Bizarro mic can push stuff over here. Um, I want to try to demonstrate a situation where there's a little bit of a conflict. Mike makes a change, Bizarro Mike makes a change, and they're conflicting with one another. This is not terribly uncommon. So let's do this. We're going to get rid of this. This is the new one. Okay, so Good Mike has the same file as Bizarro Mike, and they're both downloaded from the Git repo. So let's open up Good Mike's GitHub demo file, and he's saying, look, it should be 1 plus 3. You know what? Actually, let's do this. Since we already made those changes, let's get crazy, right? Let's do 2 times 3. Okay, so Good Mike is trying to make that change. 2 times 3. Easy peasy. Bizarre Mike. Same time. They're working in different locations. Oh, no, 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 no. That should be 2 times 4. That's the way that you show that. That's the way to really show math. 2 times 4. Okay, so you got Bizarre Mike and the Good Mike, both of those files. So let's have each of them upload these. We're not going to merge yet, but check it out. So Good Mike, remember it's the black browser. You can see the good looking picture right up there. Wants to add 2 times 3, and he's going to put in its own branch. 2 times 3. Propose a change. You can see, oh yeah, it was 2 times 2. Now it's 2 times 3. Yeah, that's what I want. I want to create a pull request so that everybody on my team, including that dumb Bizarro Mike, can look at it and look at that. There's no conflicts at all. Merge pull request looks good to go. I'm gonna hold off on that for a second. Okay, now I'm gonna go to Bizarro Mike's page. And Bizarro Mike is going to try to add his version of the file. Bizarro Mike. And that's 2 times 4. And he's got his own branch. 2 times 4. Right? And again, they're working simultaneously, asynchronously. And he's going to propose a change. And he created a pull request. And there's no merge conflict. But wait a second. I got two people. One wants to say 2 times 3, wants to say 2 times 4, and there's no merge conflict. Well, the way the Git is working is that it's not comparing Bizarro mics to clean mics proposal changes. It's comparing each to the main branch. And there's no conflict, right? It can overwrite that main branch. So here, a little bit of a cadence order history comes into play. Let's say this Bizarro mic looks at all this stuff and merges the pull request. Okay. Yeah, yeah, I think that's right. I should merge that pull request. Oh, this branch has conflicts that must be resolved. When you go and you take a look at what Good Mike was trying to do, now that that has made a change on from Bizarro Mike, there's an issue. All right, so let's see. We have to resolve some conflicts here. Conflict resolution. Yeah, man. I mean, I wanted 2 times 3, but Bizarro Mike said 2 times 4. What the hell's going on? So, do I accept the current change, accept the incoming change? Do I accept both changes? Which one do I want? Now, sometimes it's difficult to track which one is which. this is what it was. This is the incoming change. And you know what? I think he's right. I think it should be that one. I think it should be 2 times 4. So I clicked incoming change. And then that means that there's no more of those weird bars on it. There's no more of the red on it. So I could mark this as resolved. And then once I marked it as resolved, I could commit that merge. So I got rid of all those conflicts. And then, okay, now we're good to go. And so I could finally merge the request after I reviewed it. Let's go back. So that means if I go into this GitHub demo file, oh yeah, 2 times 4. You're right. You're right. You're right. That's what it should have been. And does Bizarro Mike see that as well? Let's go to Bizarro Mike and go to his GitHub demo repo, and then his GitHub demo file. 2 times 4. Yes, I was right. I finally convinced him. Um, Now, if you notice, we got all these old branches, right? I was talking about. We don't need all these because some of them were rejected and some of them were trimmed. So you might start thinking, wait a second, don't I want to keep track of that work to see who did what? I mentioned this briefly before, but you click on any of the files, click over here on history, and you can see who made what changes and when. All right, so let's take a look. Yeah, so this guy did 1 plus 1 and then 1 plus 2. Ah, all right. So I can see when they made it and what changes they made. I can browse the files that are there. I can go over here and I can see what the changes were. Let me go all the way back to code in the main repo. Um, I could go again to the history there and I could look at the one that was made most recently. And oh, yeah, that's the one where he did 2 times 4. So you have a complete history of all of these changes, not just what, but who. So you can do that type of attribution analysis. All right. Both of your players have that. There's my ugly mug. Hope that helped.